A warning?
There ain't nothing to worry about.
I'm worried that you work in an office, have children, celebrate wedding anniversaries. The world of heterosexual is a sick and boring life.
Come with me. I will love you. I won't let you start a war for her.
She left.
I want her back. Will you go to war with me, brother? We need the greatest warrior.
Achilles!
You're still my enemy in the morning.
You're still my enemy tonight.
If love is worth fighting for, it has known no greater battle than this. Troy, a Wolfgang Peterson film, rated R, May 14th.
Welcome back to the show, listeners. This movie,
I can't believe we watched all
was long.
3 hours and 10 minutes of this movie.
Director's cut, mama.
Oh my god. I hit pause and it was like, you have 2.5 hours left. I'm like, oh my god.
Listen, listeners, we're going to fill you in on what was added to this. If you only have distant memories of watching this in the theater, days of yore, 19 years ago, 21 years ago.
Yeah.
Now. But until we get to that point, my name's Pete.
And I'm Scott, and these are the movies that made us gay.
Yes, indeed.
An epic poem.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, literally.
Literally.
Quite literally. We've got a great guest for you guys today. One of our
best
favorite straights.
Straight buddy, Chris Cirigliano. Welcome back to the show.
Dude, that was long.
Knock, knock. Hey, I just came in to borrow some flour. Are you guys recording a podcast?
Oh, it's
Can
just
I
our
join?
wacky neighbor, Chris.
Oh, hey. Hey, guys. How's it going?
We're good. We are happy that we watched this epic movie.
It turned into a late night recording because we just turned off the movie.
We did. We're all hyped up on swords and sandals.
A lot of
masculine energy.
Masculine energy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Lots of oils being shared.
Lots of oils, vinegars.
Among friends.
It's a Greek salad.
But
if you will.
But Chris, welcome back. So I think that kind of the road to this episode
was a winding road.
Was a winding road that started with me texting you, would you want to come on for 300? You gave me a hard no.
Ooh, hard pass.
A hard pass. And then you mentioned the John Frankenheimer movie Seconds, which I had never seen. So I really wanted to do it on the show. But a little twist, I went to rent Seconds, and I have had a little bee in my bonnet to watch the movie that we are covering. So when I rented it, there was a 3-pack of Troy, 300, and what's the third movie?
Alexander,
Oliver Stone's Alexander. And I'm like, oh my god.
What a combo.
What a combo. And it is a sign because this is one of the reject movies that Chris gave me. And I mentioned Troy to you in a text message, and you seem to be kind of down.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
as I mentioned 9 times while we were watching the movie, I am an English major.
We get it,
Wait a
Chris. You went to college.
Did you hear? I wish I had a book I could just open in the background. You'll fill that in post,
a
right?
stuffy old book, yes.
Make it sound like I just bring books with me everywhere.
Yeah.
No, so, I guess I always had an interest in this film. I remember seeing it.
Summer of 2004, baby.
I may have seen this. I know this sounds so weird. No, I didn't. But I just remember having conversations with other English majors about it, and the big thing being like, where are the gods?
Right, as you were sewing the leather patches onto your tweed coat.
I don't know how to sew, so I ironed them on.
Oh yeah,
You
do. Okay, so I dabbled in English literature myself. The classics were never my favorite. Not that I didn't care for them, but I just. I read the Odyssey in high school.
Well, as Scott, you mentioned, I am straight.
Yeah, yes.
So as a kid, I like to just fight. I think.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Or as a straight boy, you just like end up.
Yeah.
I don't know. So there was an appeal to the Greeks and like this idea of like the heroes and the, fighting monsters, and you've got your Medusas, your Gorgons.
Which
like,
we touched a little bit about.
It seems like for me, it was like that's what got you into like the superheroes and all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Sure.
and we've talked about stuff like Clash of the Titans on our show.
Oh yeah,
too, which is
big fan of that one.
I mean, goes down like a cold glass of water compared to this movie.
This goes down like water torture.
Yeah,
as like
being
slow
waterboarded
drip
for a
of-
good 3 hours.
Yes.
Well, let's get the formal paperwork out of the way.
Okay.
We did a Troy episode.
Yes.
Directed by Wolfgang Peterson. Screenplay by David Benioff, based on the Iliad by Homer.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones, David Benioff.
Yeah. How about that?
Who was kind of a punching bag a few years ago for
Rightfully
not really
so.
Yeah,
landing
I mean-
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And for his rejected Star Wars movie that he kind of phoned in the last few seasons of Game of Thrones because of.
Right.
But yeah.
But Wolfgang Peterson, man, what a resume.
I mean, what a resume. I mean, we've talked about at least one Wolfgang Peterson movie. Pete, do you know what it is?
Air Force One.
No. Coming next week. No.
The Never-Ending Story.
Never-Ending Story.
Yes.
No way.
Yes.
I did not. That's one of
German import
Wolfgang
director. I think that was one of his
Peterson,
first
yeah.
major English language movies following the wild success of Das Boot.
Great soundtrack. Some really good Giorgio Moroder on that
Oh, okay.
Never-Ending Story soundtrack. I'm serious.
I was thinking of Lamal, but you know.
A little bit of both. And this movie was released May 14th, 2004, after debuting at the Cannes Film Festival. Troy made $497 million worldwide, making it the 60th highest grossing film at the time of its release.
That tracks. It
So,
felt
I mean,
like a 60th.
It was successful.
60th highest grossing film of what? Of ever?
I think so.
Oh, I thought you meant of that year.
Yeah, I was like,
I think that it was in the top grossing movies of the year. I have that in my notes, which I think are cut and pasted from
Sure.
Wikipedia.
Okay. Fair enough.
This movie was successful at the time.
Fair enough.
I was thinking the other day at work that I'm very fascinated with this time period in Hollywood movies. That Gladiator comes out in the year 2000, and it was this weird time of Hollywood blockbusters where you just saw a lot of sword and sandal epics. And I'll count stuff like King Arthur, too, because King Arthur with Clive Owen and Keira Knightley came out the summer of 2000.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of movies sort of chasing that success of, I would say, Ridley Scott's Gladiator and Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. That everybody just sort of wanted in on it.
I mean, but I would even take it to things like we would see like things like Master and Commander. You don't see those
Adventure
kind
Tales.
of movies anymore,
Yeah,
right? What was I saying earlier? Not the Four Feathers, but I mean even something like that. But things with like Orlando Bloom kind of built his career on these like swashbuckling kind of.
I mean,
epics.
the same year that this movie came out, Oliver Stone's Alexander and King Arthur.
Another Pretty Boy Vanity
like I mentioned
project.
before, exactly.
Kingdom of Heaven comes out.
Kingdom of Heaven comes out in 2005, starring Orlando Bloom again.
God, to have the luck of Orlando Bloom. I just hope that when I die, I'm reincarnated as an Orlando Bloom.
He scored that Lord of the Rings audition.
I mean,
very
okay, so
early
let's
out of
talk.
drama
So let's
school.
talk about the luck of Orlando Bloom. For one, the face. That's a good luck card, and it worked for him. But I mean, to your point, Chris, I think we kind of mean like his story is just kind of fresh off the turnip truck of acting school, and just kind of. I mean, I'm sure he did a lot of work for it, but
I
for
think
all intents and purposes,
but I think that
Han did Lord of the Rings.
But he went to one of those acting schools that kind of hook you up with an agent,
right?
Essentially, when you graduate.
I don't know.
And
Did you go to
where
Juilliard?
are those
he
schools?
scored, and he scored playing Legolas in Lord of the Rings. Too.
Yeah. First thing he had ever professionally acted in.
Yeah.
Is the Lord of the Rings.
And then when he went to get this role, they're like, "Hey, do you have any experience shooting a bow and arrow?" And he's like, "Well, let me tell you."
Well, what do you mean?
Do you have time? Let me show you 9 hours of me doing that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Did they write that in the bow and arrow thing? Did Paris and
No, that's
Achilles
how he
is not
kills.
a knife?
That's how he
Okay.
gets him.
It is
He
a bow and
shoots
arrow.
him. Yeah.
Got it. Well, according to Disney's Hercules, it's a slightly different story, which is my kind of strong background in this, and also Xena.
Also a classic.
Yeah, well, I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly. Well, I've also have had Greek mythology on the mind because I have been listening to the audiobook of Song for Achilles by Madeline Miller, which is sort of a retelling of the Trojan War through the point of view of, I told myself I was not going to get his name wrong,
Patroclus.
Patroclus.
They said Patroclus in the movie, right?
They said a lot of things.
And I
in the
feel like,
movie.
and I feel
am
like
not taking
my
that as
my
the standard
audiobook,
for
I think,
pronunciation.
I agree.
pronounces it a little different too.
I mean,
The whole thing with Song of Achilles and it being kind of from Patroclus' point of view is that it's really leaning into Achilles and Patroclus being more than just cousins.
Oh,
dude,
in
have
the
you know.
book, he introduces him as, "This is my husband.
really?
This is my boyfriend,"
I mean,
and everyone's just like, "All right."
You say so.
I mean, hot off the presses today, one Mr. Yee himself just kind of made some weird announcements on Twitter. Did you see this?
No, what do you...
On X, formerly known as Twitter, Kanye West said that he, and I'm paraphrasing, blew his cousin until he was 15 years old.
This just came out.
Yeah, like today.
Oh wow!
Or maybe yesterday. So, listeners,
All right.
this episode is fresh off the presses. So, yeah. More crazy news from Kanye land, but as far as cousins are concerned, yeah. So this book, Song of Achilles, it's kind of in like gay circles. It's kind of well known for being
Bestseller.
It's a bestseller.
Yep.
I have not read it yet. Scott's in the middle of a audiobook listen of it, but from what I know,
Wait, audiobook? Is that like a regular book? How many pages are in an audiobook? I'm sorry.
it's on something called a self phone.
Okay.
And you listen to it at your leisure. But from what I understand is that the ending is very, very sad. And but it's like I said, it's well known in like gay circles and gay world. It's just like kind of this really big book. Scott's in the middle of it, and so you have had this like kind of Greek mythology kick on the brain lately.
And also, I mean, I remember in my early days of college and also late high school, just kind of learning all of these Greek names either through drama class or just early lit classes. Because I think that this is just the type of thing that when you're just starting out college that you learn some Greek mythology and some of your intro
this is the starting of it
Yeah.
all. This is kind of like in the Western canon. I guess this is seen as like the first like great work.
Sure.
I mean, it's
it's kind of a good insight to ancient Greece in general.
100%, and that's kind of what I got from watching this movie. The morality or the sense of morality is so different that I'm like, this Achilles guy is not super likable, and I don't think he's supposed to
kind
be.
of an asshole.
Yeah, kind of a big jerk.
Yeah, I think that maybe.
But I'm judging it from modern standards, whereas if I were a Greek watching this, I'd be like, oh, he's the best.
Right, but as a movie, I was really coming into it as like, okay, as a movie watcher, and maybe you're like layperson who has never read the Odyssey.
Who's never read the Odyssey?
Scott, call me
Call me
young,
illiterate.
call me illiterate. I've never read McBitch before, but as a film, you're watching it and you're kind of going, who are the bad guys?
Yeah.
Sure.
Who are the good guys? Who,
And I think-
do I like Brad Pitt?
And
do I
think,
hate him?
And I think that's
I
what
don't know.
David Benioff would say
Um,
is a part of the theme of this
Yeah.
material too. Also, I think this is at a time where there is no actual Greek gods in this movie.
That's
even
the
though I
biggest
feel like
omission.
there
I think.
probably
I mean,
should be.
The biggest omission, other than the gay sex, has
Yeah.
to be
Yes.
no Greek gods.
Yeah.
But just to be fair, even when like the Patroclus Achilles relationship was always. I mean, even when you're talking, having
history
a
will
literary
say they were good
conversation
friends.
about it. That was always a question because
Right,
they do
right.
have a very like strange kind of relationship. He's almost like the original like. Who's the piano player that had
Liberace?
He's kind of like an original
Sure.
Liberace.
I'll take
because
it.
like his his lover kind of looks just like him too.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Not for nothing.
Boyfriend twins.
When you look up, is it Achilles or Patroclus in Wikipedia? One of the main images that comes up is, gosh, where is it? I'm going to find it. But there is this image of Achilles tending to Patroclus' wound, and they're both kneeling, and Patroclus is sitting on the ground, and his tunic is kind of open, just dick out.
Oh,
just dick out, and I kind of love it. I need to find it. It went away now. It's not.
Well,
there.
you know that there's what we were talking a little bit about. What is it? Not athletic nudity,
right? Right.
In the Greek times, like I know that the Olympics were performed nude.
Oh, they just got naked and wrestled.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Achilles tending to wounded Patroclus, and booyah,
sneaky little dick there.
His little dick's out.
His little wiener
just
hanging
right
out.
there in the, just right there in the. But Patroclus has a beard. He's not like depicted as being a child. He's got a beard, and
also in the book that I'm listening
Achilles
to,
looks like a child in this image here.
And in the book,
very beautiful.
I would say the book that I'm reading, they're roughly the same age.
Sure. Okay.
There's not a lot of years.
I think that's also
not in this
apart.
Accurate to the story. I mean, to the Iliad.
So it's not like super problematic by today's standards.
Right.
If you know what I'm saying.
No, yeah, absolutely.
There's no age issue.
Right.
But there is definitely like a mentor thing that's going on because, Achilles is kind of like the greatest warrior and he's kind of, training under him.
Right. Yeah.
Under him.
And we were talking briefly before we even started the movie. And Chris, you brought up what is the technical term?
For the sex?
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Intercrural. I know it sounds like I'm saying rural juror.
We'll get to the intercrural. We'll get to the intercrural.
Guys, that is
intercourse.
You're going to want to know what that means.
Yeah. I mean, if you have an alt Twitter, you might be familiar with the act. But
is it like side?
No. Kind of. No.
I didn't know you could. I mean, I know you can do this, and I know that people have actually cheated this way, but not have cheated.
It's kind of. Is it kind of like a soaking, kind of like a weird loophole? Like Mormon people maybe could try to do it. Be like, we didn't actually have sex. We didn't penetrate anything.
Yeah, I think it fits in that gray zone where you're like, did you?
Yeah.
Did we have sex? Or
they're essentially humping through their thighs.
Okay.
It's a thigh job.
Yeah,
sure.
It's a thigh job.
Which is kind of side.
But side is more like
it just put those thighs together.
Yeah,
and that's
maybe some dick sucking too.
We're not going there.
I'm guessing more hand jobs. If you look at the
what
do you call it, the reliefs and the pottery.
Yeah, the pottery.
It's more of
all that.
It's more of like intercrural.
Intercrural. That's what my volleyball team was in high school. But that was intramural. Sorry. Okay. So, but getting back to a little bit of like the movie-ness of this, right? We have to set up our Greek mythology and our classical literature kind of bedrock.
Well, what I wanted to say is I think that
it.
this is also at a time in movies where there are not Greek gods in this movie, but I think that they were trying to do this pass of if Achilles was real. Or if Hector was real, Agamemnon, this is roughly how it would look like.
Right.
That we're not kind of adding any fantastical elements of it. It's all kind of somewhat grounded. And you definitely see it in something like King Arthur. That there's not really any magic elements, but it's kind of grounded in more of a reality. Because I think that's what they just assumed that people wanted. Which, I don't know. I want to see the Greek gods. This is why this movie probably would have been a little better. It would have been probably a little hackier, but somebody like Rennie Harlan would have probably knocked this material out of the park because he would have gone there. And he did it in something like The Legend of Hercules.
Sure.
That kind of schlocky Gladiator movie that he did about 10 years ago.
What did we get with Henry Cavill, the Tarsim...
The Immortals.
Yeah. What year was The Immortals?
Like 2011.
Okay. And what year is the Clash of the Titans remake?
2009.
Release the Kraken.
But yeah,
Okay, so
and that's what
it takes a while for us to get back to the more fantastical
While not
elements,
a
which I
perfect
love.
movie, I think that The Immortals is probably just a little more interesting.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Sure, but you're right. I think with something like Gladiator is introducing this, like, yes, we're going to do a sword and sandals of yore, but we're going to make it ultra gory, ultra
Gladiator
realistic.
hit for straight old men
Yes.
in a way
It's
that I
everybody's
don't know
dad's
how to,
favorite
like,
movie.
It really was.
Yeah.
Like, I know you're saying it as
Coming
a joke,
from
but,
someone
like,
who actually loves Gladiator.
oh no, like I was familiar with it. I don't know if you know this too. The same way I'm saying I study English, I'm probably letting you know I'm Italian. So
What?
I know what.
As you're
Oh my God.
As you're kissing your fingers.
I'm just hurling pizza dough all over your apartment. But my dad was a big fan of the Gladiator.
Okay.
And there's a funny thing where I don't know if you guys ever got into The Sopranos. Gladiator.
I'm watching Gladiator.
You're watching
I'm watching The
Sopranos
Sopranos right now.
There's a lot of references because I guess it must have come out in the time. So the characters in it start quoting Gladiator.
Okay.
And it's pretty.
So is it like a big thing for like in Italian American culture, just like really embracing it? as
You're
a
gonna
movie?
have
Wow,
a
I
framed
never knew
picture of
that.
Sinatra,
yes.
the Pope,
Yes.
JP2,
Oh, hey,
Hey, oh,
let some
JP2,
smoke out of that
I
chimney.
know.
Tony Soprano, and also Maximus.
Can I? Oh, I don't. I'm digressing.
No, it's
My
okay.
dad
Do
loved
it.
The Sopranos so much
Good.
that he was like, my name's Chris or Christopher.
Yep.
And Tony's, cousin Christopher. My
Michael
dad
Imperioni.
was so happy about that. He's like, Christopher, like the thing, like I knew about it. And it's like, wait a minute, this means nothing.
Christopher's
Like, these
also
are two names that are
Christopher's also a piece of shit too.
I was gonna say,
yeah, he's the worst.
he's kind of the worst, isn't
He
he?
is. He's terrible. But my dad was just, again, my dad like idolized Tony Soprano.
Yeah.
Like, but for Italians, you only have so many heroes.
Right,
Super
right.
Mario,
Shit.
Luigi.
Luigi.
Well,
Oh, I mean,
my new hero is
I
Luigi.
mean, Luigi Mario.
You know.
'Cause that's their
what's
last
the
name, right?
Luigi, what's the Mangione? Anyway.
Yeah. No, we free Luigi. I mean,
Yeah.
we will break him out ourselves.
But
on
just
this
to
show.
say that Gladiator, I totally see
Yeah.
other films following because it was such a cultural phenomenon for
Yeah.
old men who like watch the Discovery Channel and watch Roman
Oh,
Yes,
history.
absolutely.
They're like, I want to talk to you about how aqueducts work, and you're like, Dad, I have
This
no
is
time for this.
this is a History Channel movie with
Yeah.
$150 million budget. I was going to say, I was surprised it took you this long.
I used to treat my dad like a kid that was acting up. You know, you put a kid's film
Sure.
on, like you put on Frozen. My dad would be getting a little ornery, and I'd put in the DVD, and I'm like, Dad, I throw a
my
bowl
God.
of spaghetti in front of the TV, and
I
he just
love it. All right, let's get into some meat and potatoes.
Well,
with,
let's get into this cast.
Yeah.
I mean, this is peak
this cast is wild.
early 2000s Brad Pitt.
Okay, first of all, you said let's get into this cast. Everyone started flowing through my brain. Brad Pitt, not even there at all until you said it. I was like, oh yeah, Orlando and Eric Bana.
and Peter O'Toole, who's constantly trying to find the specter of death that is following him around the set.
I kind of thought he was playing the character blind. He was just
I
looking
don't
off
think
into the
Prius
distance.
is blind.
He's not.
I have a memory
He's not.
of Peter O'Toole's scenes being like Julie Christie, that he's in and out. Like
Maybe
he
we got
has,
some director's
He
cut,
has
like
one
extra-
scene, and I think it's because we watched the director's
Yeah.
cut that
Got some
probably
extra meat on the
adds
bone
a
for-
little more character development to everyone, and probably more
Oh,
scenes
mama,
with him.
character development. Can we talk about character development in this movie?
Of course.
I mean, Achilles.
I mean, yeah.
I have questions. I have a lot
Sure.
of questions.
And I think that when you lose the Greek god element, that it really makes it not really hold up.
I
in
think
the
that's
script.
a good point.
yeah,
That I think that you're kind of really taking away everything that makes this character interesting when you don't even go into it to any of that.
To his
and that's the
backstory,
thing about
yeah.
this movie's relationship with the Greek gods, is that we do see his mother.
You know what I just realized? Maybe because she doesn't do anything technically fantastic. in that scene.
She's just kind of
all she's doing is kind of like picking up seashells.
Yeah. She's like, I'm gonna
Thetis
make
is
you a
just
necklace.
standing.
She's
is
kind of
standing
just
in
like a water hippie.
Yeah.
She's
She's
just standing in a tide pool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This character is played by Maggie Smith in Clash of the Titans.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Just so
I didn't
you all
that.
know, all you listeners out there.
When I'm listening to the audiobook, I envision Maggie Smith.
Maggie
in all
Smith,
of those
because
scenes,
that's
too.
that's who we know of the character. Okay, well, let's go back to cast, and then we'll talk a little bit about character development and maybe lack thereof. But yeah, Brad Pitt. I mean, he's in this movie. He is like, would you say this specimen of Brad Pitt is like peak body yaddy yaddy,
Yeah.
or do you go back to Fight Club, which is what a lot of people do?
I think his
right?
ass is bigger in this movie.
It is.
So I think it
ass
in
is
my
huge
opinion,
in
it's
this
like
He is working with a dump truck.
You kept saying
form.
thick. What is?
Oh,
thick?
he is.
I think he
thick
has
with two C's.
I think he has a good little bubble butt.
He's
in
like
this
Megan
movie.
Thee Stallion. He's
And
thick.
also Brad Pitt too. I don't think of Brad Pitt having a big ass.
No.
too. So I think that he really
and Mama,
worked on
there
that.
was some booty shots.
There was
in
a
this
lot of
movie.
side butt.
I think that was also some director's cut. Was a little bit more of the nudity that like Orlando Bloom, like really kind of getting down there. And
I don't think that you see Diane Kruger topless in the theatrical cut too.
Got it. But so Brad is walking around with like, he's definitely thicker than he is in Fight Club. This body is bodying. He's got the like 613 like bleach job, like 613 human unit, like so much product in it.
So blonde.
Yeah.
So
It does give me a
bleach-blonde.
little like, he's very cold. You know what I mean? He's a very
Yes.
cold character. It's
Yeah.
almost like a Rutger Hauer, kind of. In
when you look up 613 blonde in Google, this is what you get.
It's a little more
And I
brassy
like
than
it.
that.
It is a little. It's a lot
It's
more
a little more
brassy. It's
brassy.
a lot more brassy.
Sun-soaked.
Than that. Yeah, but that color does not exist in nature.
No.
I don't care how much time you spend in the ocean surfing. That color is not going to...
Yeah, that was kind of weird in the movie. There's so much to talk about in that like 10-minute surfing interlude where Brad and Achilles and Patroclus catch waves.
You know,
And then
to
they-
honor Poseidon,
that was a lot of
obviously.
fun.
And then they give each other a high five
Oh, merciful Poseidon.
as they're holding their little boogie boards.
Yeah. Okay. Like we were saying, we'll get to all that stuff later. But I mean, his face is flawless, right? There's not a scratch, not a blemish, not a flaw on his face. Greatest warrior the earth has ever seen in all of Greece. This man can strike you down from 50 paces.
He's a
whatever.
demigod.
He's a demigod. So maybe that's why he has no blemishes on his face.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it. I was like, maybe it's because he's supposed to be part god that's why he's so perfect.
I know. I just hope in one aspect of life I can have the balls to do something like that. To be like, well, I'm a beautiful man. What should I be? Oh, I'll be the most famous, fighter and all of the most, I don't know. It's like picking the role for yourself.
I was gonna
at
say-
the height
Oh.
of his beauty.
I was gonna
He's
say,
like,
not for nothing.
I
I am
have some
gonna be
insider
the-
and I have some insider
Yeah.
information about Brad Pitt's involvement with this movie.
Well, because like we were,
It's his
like we
production
said, it's his
company.
production company at the beginning.
So it is his production company
Yeah.
that produced it, but he was locked
Planned
into doing this
Brad Pitt.
movie with a contract that I don't think that he initially really wanted to be in Troy.
Okay.
But he dropped out of The Fountain with Darren Aronofsky when that was supposed to film in, I think, summer of 2003, and he thought the script was too weird.
Right.
And he pieced
Oh, what
out.
gave him that idea?
He pieced out on the movie, and I want to say that Kate Blanchett was already like on location in Australia. Like they were ready to start filming, and he
Kate Blanchett
passed on the movie. Kate Blanchett was the Rachel Weisz role.
Oh, so they recast the whole thing. Then.
They recast almost the whole thing.
They said they said Kate Blanchett, you're not going to work with you.
Well, I think that Kate Blanchett got pregnant, and she just became
Like too much time passed.
unavailable to do the movie, and they recast it. And then Darren Aronofsky met his baby mama, Rachel Weisz.
the stunning and the beautiful,
Stunning.
gorgeous Rachel Weisz.
And then he was
beautiful.
locked into a contract of that, well, you have to do one movie with Warner, and it ended up being Troy,
okay,
too. And I believe this movie was initially offered to Christopher Nolan, which he will be doing his pass of the Odyssey next year.
Which is basically
filming it
like
right now.
the sequel to this,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
The sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the prequel to the Odyssey.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
And-
episode 1.
And where does the Enid coleslaw? Who's the boy?
Who?
The kid at the end of the movie, and he's like, "Here, take my sword."
Oh, Aeneas. Oh, yeah. So there's another
Aeneid or whatever.
Yeah, the Aeneid.
Is that in between those two? Is that
No,
before?
that's after.
after.
Yeah, so that happens afterwards, and that's the story of Aeneas founding Rome.
Is that
it's a
is
it's
that
a story
told by
written-
Homer?
That's Virgil.
Virgil.
So that's a Roman one. Homer's Greek.
Virgil Easter egg.
Yeah, but they give the little nod because they do the connection thing where it's like, it's all part of the same line or something.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, they gave a little like lit, it's like all the lit nerds. It's like, okay, here's some crumbs.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't get gods, you nerds, but now you can get like this little wink to to Aeneas and the Iliad.
Okay. Enid. That's what I said.
I said Enid. I thought you were talking about Ghost Wars.
Okay, so we have Brad Pitt. Can we talk about Eric Bana?
Eric Bana, I'm going to make the controversial opinion.
Tell me.
Say Eric Bana kind of does it for me more.
That's not controversial,
movie.
man.
I'm on Team Bana, too.
Yeah.
He has kind of a cool fashion mullet going on, too.
I really appreciate mullets now. Like, as somebody is, the hair's like receding a little. I'm like, I just want as much hair everywhere.
any spot.
Yeah, just
We
everywhere.
were just trying to deliver all of this character's lines
in our shitty Australian
in an
accent.
Australian accent.
Well, he gave he's hiding an accent to
Yeah.
varying degrees of success.
Okay, so at the very beginning of this movie, I'm sitting here thinking, oh, are they going to do that thing? Because, all right, let's be real here. Brad Pitt, what is he doing?
I don't know. He's
Accent-wise.
doing Shakespeare in the Park.
He's doing Shakespeare in the Park. He's doing his like Louis Vampire Lestat, like pronounced overpronunciation.
It's his one trick that he's got for roles in the past.
So I'm like, okay, well, so Brad Pitt's not really doing like a British accent, but then it's that thing of like, this is ancient Greece, but this is kind of like essentially an American.
But
movie.
then you got Brandon
So I guess
Gleeson just pretty much speaking
just being
in his
Irish.
I mean, there is a
voice.
collection of English, English actors all over this piece.
Yeah, and everybody's just speaking
Helen of Troy.
whatever they want.
Yeah.
Helen of Troy sounds German just because this is
she is.
a German actress.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, maybe
Yeah,
everybody's.
I love you, Paris.
Everybody's just going to do whatever they're doing, but I do think that Eric Bana was giving like a quote unquote English accent, right?
Yeah.
He's not going just straight up Australian.
I mean, he's kind of trying to match Orlando. Too.
There's some.
There you
It
go.
sneaks out there, like at times.
Yeah,
where he's like,
every now
oi,
and then.
oi, oi.
Aussie.
Aussie. He said crikey one time, and I'm like, there it is. There it is.
It slipped out. And we caught
Crikey,
it. Yeah.
Paris.
The editors didn't catch it. We did. But no, Eric Bana, I feel like, in 2004, I don't know that anybody is really going to try and go up against Brad Pitt body-wise.
Sure.
But Eric Bana was serving it up.
Eric Bana has a nice chest.
Yeah.
He's got some nice,
Absolutely. He's got some pecs for days.
He has some nice pecs.
And we're okay with it.
I'd like to rest my head on them.
Orlando Bloom, on the other hand, looks very young in this movie. He was very young in this movie. It's 2004, so he's,
Well, I feel like Paris is nobody's favorite character
No.
of the story, too. Like, he's just kind of this dummy fuckboy.
He kind of is. There's a strong contrast between him and his brother, where his brother's kind of like the dutiful older brother, and Paris is like, yo, check out Helen. She's my girl now. You coming with me. And he starts a 10-year war because he wants some of that good stuff.
Okay. Also, here's my thing about this movie. Maybe just how it's edited. 10 years.
It did not seem like it was a
feels
10
like
year,
it
yeah.
is over Pride Weekend or something.
And that's the whole gag of the Iliad. Is it
And the Odyssey.
Iliad or is it just Iliad?
Well, because
is that the Trojan
Iliad.
War took so fucking long.
10
well,
years,
and
yeah.
what's his name? Sean Bean Odysseus has been away from Penelope for like a decade.
Well, because he's gone for 10 years at the Trojan War, and then another
10 years trying to get
his
home.
ass back.
Yeah. It takes him a while.
Hanging out with Circe and the Sirens.
Yeah, the Odyssey is his homecoming.
And the Island of
story.
Sirens. Yeah. But yeah. Oh, you know what I just figured right now? I did a little bit of math in my head.
Uh-oh.
So don't quote me on this. But Orlando Bloom is like 27 in this. He's not that young.
Isn't Orlando Bloom your age?
He looks so young.
He's about a year older than me, Scott.
He
We
looks
may
like
be the
he's got,
same
like-
birth year, but we're 11 months apart. But he looks very, very young in this. But yeah, I'm like, oh no, he's fully 27.
I
when he
mean,
made
no
this.
one did the early 2000s like that kid. all 3 Lord of the Rings movies.
A million pirate movies.
Pirate movies.
Lucky bastard.
Yeah.
My favorite Cameron Crowe movie, Elizabethtown.
Yeah.
Kingdom of Heaven.
Shit. I mean, Chris, he may have been a lucky bastard then, but he is married to Katy Perry now, so take that. Okay, we mentioned Brendan Gleeson, and it's just like straight up Irish. But I mean, would it just be weird if Brendan Gleeson did anything other than his crazy Irish accent?
Brendan Gleeson also at this time was in everything.
He was. And he
it
still
was
is.
either Brendan Gleeson or
Brian Cox.
Brian Cox.
Who's
or
also
I'm
in
going
this.
to add another one, Ray Winstone.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
I was looking for him in this, and
Mm-hmm.
he wasn't in it. Brian Cox as Agamemnon, famously played by Sean Connery in One Time Bandits, which we've still yet to cover on this movie,
It's my favorite. Anything Terry Gilliam is my
Yeah.
favorite.
We love
I just
Terry
watched Time
Gilliam.
Bandits for the
I
first
just
time
showed it
last
to
year.
Scott for the first time, yeah.
Yeah, those
And
are
that's
big.
who Sean Connery's playing in that movie is Agamemnon. Can I say this? Watching this movie, they're going for the realism and they're going for all of that, but it's still very 2004 realism because like nothing says ancient Greece like a bunch of British dudes.
Yeah.
I read that all of the leads were told to wax their chests. So just to kind of show off their physique a little
Well,
bit more.
I just to be in solidarity with them, I did the same tonight.
Good,
so,
good. I'm glad. You were showing us earlier.
Yep.
But, Chris,
You
as
did not
someone
ask.
from a Mediterranean descent,
Oh,
you would know
Who
more.
told you that?
You would know more than any of us.
No,
that
I wouldn't know anything.
Mediterranean men, especially, are well known for being hairless.
The exact opposite, actually. We're known for being Brillo pads of people.
You know how that goes.
You know what? Like
never
the
have a hair on
best
your
thing
chest.
is like when you're at home or when you're in the shower and you don't have a loofah and you're like, wait
Sure.
a minute, I am the loofah.
Yeah,
and it's just
Rub that bar soap right
So
on
yeah,
the
it is strange to see Achilles is smooth as a seal
Yeah.
Yeah.
And blonde.
and blonde.
Very blue
But
eyes.
it's very much at the time, though. I
Yeah,
think
what are they
that
gonna do?
Just sort of
Yeah,
action heroes had to have a shaved
Right.
chest.
Right, yeah. But I mean also just like the completely like lily white European cow. I mean, yes, Greece is in Europe, but you know what I mean.
I believe they were hairy boys.
Yeah, I'm right.
A lot of hairy men.
There, yeah. Ajax. I don't think he shaved a damn hair in his body.
Yeah, like Ajax.
Tyler Mane, best known for being a wrestler, but most known for being Sabretooth
Sabretooth in X-Men.
in X-Men.
Oh.
He's both Tyler Mane and Nathan Jones from that opening scene.
Yep.
They are big son of a bitches.
They are both
They are
brick shithouses. Yeah.
giant men.
Tyler Mane is 6'9", 6'8", 6'9", and
Nathan Jones is fucking huge.
that giant man from the first shot or for the first scene in the movie where we first see Achilles, that dude is 6'11".
He is from he was also in WW.
Oh, okay. He was a wrestler.
WWE.
Okay,
Yep.
work.
He's in Furiosa and Mad Max.
He's Rictus Erectus.
yeah.
Oh yeah, Rictus.
Yeah. It's kind of funny in those movies.
Back in that time, if you were 6'11", you were just the chief. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
he's kind of the biggest guy. I guess he wins.
Oh, absolutely.
So, there's some kind of. I think also what's interesting to a kid is like, I don't know, there's some kind of skill to the warfare as opposed to now where it just feels like
sure.
there's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's some kind of, I mean, it's all stupid. War's the worst. but at the time, it's like these things were, I was super excited when I read this as a kid, when I read the Greek stories and seeing this, even as an adult, I'm like, oh, I want to see this movie. And it kind of, I don't know if it does anything much. I don't know that it did. Like, if you're not familiar with the story of the Iliad or, the Trojan War, like, it definitely tells you that, even though it, like, kills off a lot of characters who don't get killed off. But, like, this film, I think it's Brad Pitt's performance seems so weird and cold.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get behind anything in this film if he's the focus. And you're like, well, I don't really like him.
Well, especially in the last act of the movie where they're
trying to give him a conscience.
where they're being the big siege of Troy,
Yeah.
where you're really seeing all of this awful shit happen, and you just kind of wonder, like, well, what does Achilles think of all of this?
Yeah. And then there's big swaths of the movie where he's just gone.
Yeah, gone.
He's just not on screen.
Yeah.
Not talking about him. I know there's a lot of
He's
stuff. There's a lot of
moody.
characters. Yeah. Yeah. But that was what I was kind of saying as far as like character development and just coming at it from a movie watcher point of view and not necessarily like comparing it to, you know, the Iliad, is that you're kind of left on your own as far as like, are the Greeks the villains? Are the people from Troy the villains? Paris?
It does feel like
Agamemnon.
Yeah, the Trojans are the good people.
Trojans.
You know,
The people from Troy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do feel like when you watch this, but in a way, it feels like the director or writer should have framed it in a way where the Greeks are the heroes because they are technically the heroes of the story.
Sure.
You know what I
Okay,
mean?
yeah.
But in this modern watching of it, it kind of feels like...
Yeah, and Agamemnon being kind of like the leader of the Greek army, he's a piece of shit in this movie.
Yeah.
Right? You're just like, fuck that guy.
And if they're
He's
doing
rude.
a moral ambiguity, I don't think the script really holds up with that then.
Yeah.
Of that,
How dare you?
I don't know.
How dare you speak ill of Saint Benioff?
Yeah.
That man...
I'll have to take it up with Amanda
I
Peet.
would follow him in the siren-infested waters.
Oh.
He would lead me.
But yeah, I feel like the script probably just needs to be a little better.
Yeah.
I found a lot of problems with it.
tighten
It's a tough thing to do.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, why don't we just shoot the Bible?
What,
It's like,
what
okay,
kind of undertaking must that be as a script
I
writer?
think it's
to be
I think
like-
it's a tough thing to do and to try and accomplish, but I don't know that there wasn't like a cool moment in that movie for me other than, you know, what is it? Like Achilles like yelling Hector. You know, that was probably how'd it go?
Wait.
That was probably the
I like how it's
He just calls him out.
I like how it's just in the background of that scene that you can just hear little Brad yelling off in the distance.
Yeah. It's he says it. He screams it so many times, and Hector's like putting on his gauntlets and like tying
saying
his laces.
goodbye to everyone.
And he's like, I will be right down.
yeah, I get it. I can hear you. Everyone can hear you.
Okay, and
that's
also
there a
here,
lot.
so I saw this movie on video. I did not see this movie in the theater. And here's the thing: is I
Tisk,
remember
tisk, tisk.
there
I know.
being so much buzz about this movie because I think
Yeah.
that there was so much written about the production of this movie that there may have been like delays of this movie.
That makes
But I just remember reading a lot about it in Premiere Magazine and EW. I finally got to this on home video, and when we were watching it tonight, I'm like, maybe I fell asleep during this movie because I don't remember
very long.
any of this movie.
So
I was shocked when they had the Trojan horse last act because I just assumed that, this story's too cool for the Trojan horse.
Now, anytime anyone gets wood, they'll think of Trojans.
Yeah.
don't let them see you coming.
Hey, ayo.
Heyo.
Yeah. How are you gonna depict the Trojan horse? Like on film?
I just
They did
assumed
it. They
that's
did it.
such a silly idea that I think that David Benioff would just be too cool for it.
No.
That I was kind of shocked when they actually did go there.
You have to.
I was
though.
going to say, I think
I feel like
audiences
you have
would
to pay
riot
that
if it-
off.
yeah.
It's like there's certain things you have to pay off.
Yeah.
And you're going to want to see that horse.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I stayed watching. I'll be honest with you guys. I was going to check out.
I mean-
like I was going to go run some errands at some point.
Yeah.
I need to see that horse.
I was thinking about doing a
You
beer
brought
run,
some laundry. It was
Well-
like, it's
and I'm
in the
glad that
dryer.
I
wish I
stuck
could've
around
started
for the
that.
entire thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, one last little bit of casting before we move on. We talked a little bit about Diane Kruger of Inglourious Bastards fame.
Diane Kruger had a big 2004. I mean, nobody really thinks about the movie Wicker Park as much as I do with Josh Hartnett.
No one does.
I think that movie was supposed to be
Not
kind of a bigger deal.
Sure.
It was a remake of a famous French movie, and then it came out and no one really gave a shit about it.
Okay.
And then she finished 2004 up with National Treasure,
Oh, there you go.
which I think that we
okay.
all forget what massive hits
Yeah.
those movies were.
right.
But yeah, she was in National Treasure.
I saw the first National Treasure in the theater, and I was delighted. I'll tell you what.
I had a wonderful time.
Probably
time.
one of
Rip
the
roaring
first
fun.
times I remember seeing Rose Byrne in a movie.
Rose Byrne as Bursitis,
Who's also in Wicker Park.
Oh,
too.
how about that?
Yep.
How about that?
She can't pick a side. She doesn't know.
No.
She is so, what would you call it, dickmatized?
She is very much dickmatized.
She's definitely
in this
dickmatized.
movie. Yeah, Rose Byrne is Bursitis. She is... her name's not Bursitis, by the way. I was going to see how long it would take. That's like,
I honestly am
inflammation.
Is that not how you pronounce it?
No.
Oh.
Bursitis is like inflammation of your joints. She like a priestess, like
she's a priestess of Apollo.
Isn't she like a cousin?
But she's also a cousin of Hector.
She's like a play
Paris.
cousin?
She's a play cousin. She hangs out with them on the weekends. Their moms are
I
good
mean,
friends.
she's sitting in the throne room.
Yes.
I mean, they play doctor.
Absolutely. Yeah. They all did. But yeah, this was an early Rose Byrne one for me. I was not expecting to see her in this.
I don't think the movie was made better with her. I like her a lot as an actress.
And when you were,
I just did not like her role.
Sure.
And when you were describing this character, it sounded a little more interesting when you were just telling us what she does in the story.
I have no memory. I'm sorry. Well, there's a lot of things I did say while we were watching it, but I don't know if any of that was true.
Oh, that's quite all right.
What did I say about...
Okay, so explain the setup of Paris.
Oh, okay.
With Helena, because I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, so this goes way back, but apparently this all started when there was some wedding of, I don't know, some demigods, and Paris is there, and the god of discord, you know, that one?
Sure.
Eris, the god of discord, was not invited to the wedding. So what he does is he throws a golden apple into the wedding, and it says "to the fairest" on it. And all of a sudden, that starts this competition of like the three goddesses, Athena, Hera, and Aphrodite, are like, they start arguing, well, I'm the fairest. And then anyway, they're like, okay, Zeus, you have to pick which is the fairest. And Zeus is like, no, I'm not that dumb. I'm not going to choose. You know, so somehow Paris gets picked. And
Paris was
he was a guest at this
wedding. Was the mortal himbo that was just invited?
Exactly.
Yeah.
He was like, huh?
Okay.
And anyway, he had to choose, and so they're trying to like trying to get him to like choose them. And I believe that Aphrodite offers him the hand of the most beautiful woman in the world. So he chooses Aphrodite and gives her the apple, and so that's supposed to be why he ends up absconding with Helen when they visit.
That launched 1,000 ships.
When you see her in the movie, it's like the face that launched 1,000 men.
I was gonna say, what do you think
know.
of Diane Kruger? I mean, yeah, she's not mid by any means. She's Diane Kruger. She's beautiful, right? We would all be lucky to like hang out with her.
This is supposed to be the woman,
but it's Helen of Troy.
Yeah, there is no higher.
Now, I did read again. This is IMDb trivia, so however apocryphal it is, was that Wolfgang Peterson, or I don't know if it was Wolfgang Peterson or David Benioff, I already forgot. But they were initially saying, maybe we just leave Helen of Troy out, because how do we depict her without audiences being like mid, you know?
Yeah, no, I'm being obnoxious, obviously.
So,
you know,
but I think the Wolfgang Peterson's kind of solution was that we go for a more of an unknown, obscure actress.
And Diane would have been unknown at that time,
and not go for like Angelina Jolie.
Yeah,
like the obvious like choice, right? So that's how.
But that I would get, you know, like I'm not
risking
think that it
my
should have
been
family's
somebody,
life for like
Angie was already booked
8?
with Alexander.
I don't know. Get
Liz
Hurley out of somebody.
Liz Hurley, could you imagine?
Come on. There's not a lot of meat in this character. It could have been Liz Hurley.
It could have been.
It could have been.
I mean, I'm kind of surprised they didn't go for a supermodel.
That's what I'm saying. Fine, go get Mila Jovovich. She's working and she knows how to act.
Sometimes
she knows how to kill monsters. I think. God, she's been killing monsters recently.
Killing monsters and vampires, zombies, and everything.
Yeah.
Mila, come on the show. You're more than welcome.
I know her people. I'll send out some feelers.
Good.
Yeah.
We love her. All right. So does that round out kind of our cast that we want to?
We mentioned early Garrett Hedlund.
Yeah.
Very adorable in this movie.
He looks. I mean, you want to talk about
young.
looking young? He looks young.
I mean, I think that Garrett Hedlund's.
I think he was
is
19,
just a few years older than me. He's born in '84.
He looks like he just fell off
Young.
the turnip truck, like coming from like Minnesota or wherever he's from.
Saffron Burrows, who plays Hector's wife. I always remember Saffron Burrows from Deep Blue Sea.
I've never heard.
She
that
made
name.
the sharks smarter.
She was.
What if we make the sharks smarter?
Never a good idea. I mean, she had some stuff to do.
She had some moment. I mean, she has more of a character than Helen of Troy does.
I think so. Mm-hmm. But it's just so funny that the whole time during this movie, where it's just like this crazy war is coming, like this entire army is coming to your land, and he's like, well, maybe you might. In some instance, there might be a chance that maybe you might need to use this tunnel to get yourself the hell out of Troy. And we're just like, just go.
Yeah. Pack your shit and leave now.
And leave now. Leave. All of you, including Hector, just go. Yeah. What are you doing?
Well, I mean, I think that's the thing that's the toughest to watch as like a modern viewer, where you see the character of Hector as being the obedient son.
Right.
And he's in this situation because his younger brother stole a woman from a rival nation. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So he just could give her back, right? And that would end it, but that doesn't happen. So now he has to fight. His brother really doesn't fight. And his father, it's not really... He's trying to follow the gods, and he's just like, Dad, just fucking chill. Yeah. Just die already.
Okay. But when Brendan Gleeson challenges Orlando Bloom, Paris, to this fight, and then they have the fight, and Orlando Bloom just fucking wusses out at the end. Ooh.
I think it's kind of the best scene of the entire movie.
Yeah.
It kind of is. Mm-hmm. It's the most...
Yeah.
It's the lowest someone can, be. Yeah. It seems like he's cowering in fear, begging. He created this situation, and now he's begging to be saved from it.
And I think it's that thing, like you were saying, Chris, of like moral standards are very different than I think like standards of war were very different than we were talking about how these battles went on for days and days, even battles between two people, right?
Yeah,
I think I read that like. Hector and Ajax like fought for like
days
and days, and in this movie, it's it's a 10.
Well, 10 years fight. Apparently. It's like how many people live during this time? Right. You're not killing thousands of people every day for 10 years.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And so in this movie, when Paris kind of like he gets stabbed and he's like, okay, I'm gonna die, and he crawls away, cowering, and he like climbs up on Hector.
He's like, oh, I think I shit myself a little.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got warrants.
Yeah, sorry.
I got priors. Hector's kind of like, he doesn't kick him off, but he's kind of like, you need to go and finish this. Like, you need to go fight, right?
That's kind of like, the culture he needs to.
But there's also nobody there like, hey, how about maybe some like Trojan archers are there just like fucking killing off, just like knock off Brendan Gleeson. No, they can't do that because that's dishonorable or whatever. They have to finish this fight. I mean, Hector ultimately, in the movie, kills off who's Brendan Gleeson.
He takes a shillelagh and hits him with it. Mm-hmm. I think. Oh, Bigor.
The old Irish Spring. I was noticing in this movie, speaking of kind of fight scenes,
the blood bags.
Well, yeah, the squibs.
Yeah.
Achilles is known for being like the best fighter, like
agile,
on Earth.
And he's invulnerable technically in the story, so you can't kill him.
You can't kill him.
Yeah.
Like,
but in this one, he does seem invulnerable.
Right. But not only that, but he is a good fighter. Like he just kills this giant dude in one blow, right? But it seems like his entire fighting style is like fake outs and dodges.
Sure.
And just like
we call them feints.
Ooh, you thought I was going over here. A feint?
You know what this movie does not do that 300 would do a few years later? It doesn't do the slow-mo shot.
Oh, you're right.
To the regular speed. Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Zack Snyder just like took this material and just like burned it to the ground of like, well, this is how I'm going to do this. Yeah. And he goes in a completely different direction. with it, which I think is kind of cool.
Have you read the graphic novel for 300?
No.
Okay. It's like, I mean, but it's like I'm one of those
Isn't
nerds.
like kind of a what do you?
It's whatever. It's just like the movie, you know what I mean? Sure. But I don't think the movie adds that much. It just adds this like style that's
Well, it
like,
kind of feels like a storyboard for the movie, right? Like,
yes.
if you were just
That's kind of how I felt. So when I saw the movie, I'm like, that's the thing. But it's just it's so stylized that I think it got a lot of people excited. Where I feel is I don't know, it's just a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and that's the thing about this movie is I think that even audiences at the time, like it made decent money. Take it that everything was kind of making decent money. Summer of 2004, but it's not really a movie that I remember people being all that excited for.
No,
that it just came out. An early summer movie and was probably quickly forgotten.
Yeah, none of my some of my friends, you know, my school chums, wink.
Right.
But yeah, no, this wasn't like, oh man, I can't wait to Saturday night. Are you going to go see?
So this is a good this is a good segue into a little quiz that I made. That I will have always a soft spot for summer movies of 2004 because it is the summer that I graduated high school. So I was getting ready to go to college. Trying to see as many movies as I could living at home, that I have our little tagline game.
Tagline game.
I'm going to name the tagline see if you can guess the movie.
Okay.
Summer of 2004, released May through August.
Okay. I think I can. All right. Based on taglines.
I am terrible at everything, so I'm going to lean on Pete.
Okay.
This summer, a man will face his destiny. A hero will be revealed.
Oh, fuck.
This movie was the summer of 2004.
A man will face his destiny and a hero will be revealed.
Think about hero.
Hero in 2004.
Who were the big superheroes of 2004?
Oh, shit.
In the early 2000s.
Oh, God, I'm so bad at
Huge game changer when it came to comic book movies.
So
I think this was the highest grossing
Iron Man
movie.
was like 09.
Correct. Iron Man.
Oh. Say the tagline again.
This summer, a man will face his destiny. A hero will be revealed.
Is this Batman Begins?
No. That's 2005.
No.
Damn it. Okay, so it's before Batman Begins.
Before Batman Begins. It is not an X-Men movie.
It's not an X-Men movie.
Is it a Marvel film?
It is a Marvel movie.
Is it a Spider-Man?
It's Spider-Man.
I was thinking Spider-Man.
Spider-Man 2.
It's Spider-Man 2. Yeah, all right.
I definitely remember watching that movie in the dorms.
Yeah. Okay, got it. Yay.
All right. 10,000 years ago, one storm changed the face of our planet. On May 28th, it will happen again.
When storm changed the face of our planet?
Mm-hmm.
Superstore.
Is it the perfect storm?
No, it's the day after tomorrow.
It's the day after tomorrow. Yep. Very good.
Good job. All right.
Thank you, children. It's weird that you keep them there just for
the back,
just for that. But okay,
You said that you're going to play
Throw candy at them.
Brad Pitt, Screaming Hector. Yeah.
For the wins?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. This one's pretty silly.
All right.
1, let the bad color not be seen. It attracts them. 2, never enter the woods. That is where they wait. 3, heed the warning bell, for they are coming.
The Village.
The Village.
Good. See, you thought you were going to be bad at this.
The Village, kind of a movie. Catch me on the right day. I will go to bat for that
You
movie.
love The Village.
I do too.
A secret
I do
masterpiece.
too.
The
I get
Village.
shit on all the time, but I think it's because I like Bryce Dallas Howard.
Okay.
And that,
I
like,
think
that was
she's
the
good in
first
that
time.
movie.
Yeah, it was the first time I saw her, and I'm like, oh, I'm with you wherever
And
you're
you know
going.
what? The twist kind of does it for me now.
It's okay. It's fine.
It's fine.
You know what? It's believable and fine.
Sure.
Where some other twists are like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
What are we?
Beautiful score by James Newton Howard. Yeah. I stand by The Village.
Okay. All right.
We drove 100 miles summer of 2004 to go to The Village.
Oh, my God.
We drove to Great Falls, Montana
I did
to
not.
see
I
that
was not
movie.
with you then.
Yep. All right.
All right, next one.
Once Upon Another Time.
Once Upon Another Time.
Fairy tale movie.
Well, yeah.
Animated.
Oh.
Also made a lot of money.
Oh, God.
Rapunzel.
Tangled was later.
Oh, Tangled. That's
was
what I was
later.
thinking.
Yeah.
So this was a DreamWorks movie that kind of had kids in a chokehold in the early 2000s.
Oh, is it Shrek 2?
Shrek 2.
Oh, nice.
Yes. I knew it. I knew it.
All right, the next one. He's out to prove he's got nothing to prove. This is on the poster.
He's out to prove he's got nothing to prove.
I remember friends of mine seeing this movie like 5 times in the theater. And when we went to college that fall, everybody was quoting this movie.
Big quote.
It was huge.
Anchorman.
No. It was still in the theater in the fall, too. Just for college kids to go to.
Sure, to go back again and again.
Because it's so
and
stupid.
again. Okay. Is it kind of Anchorman-ish?
I have the question.
No, not really.
Yeah, can we get the tagline one more time?
He's out to prove he's got nothing to prove.
Is it a comedy?
It's a comedy. Independent movie bought from Sundance by Fox Searchlight.
Napoleon Dynamite?
Napoleon Dynamite.
Wow.
That is a weird tagline. That's a weird
on the
catchphrase
poster.
for that movie. I don't get it at all. Okay.
All right. It started
One
like
more? Okay.
any other night.
It's a horror movie?
No.
Oh.
It's a sort of an action thriller. Starring actually 2 big movie stars. One of them was Oscar nominated for this movie.
For the movie? Mm-hmm. I'm not going to get this.
Big auteur action director.
Started like any other night.
It is set in Los Angeles.
Is it Tom Cruise
It is
and Jamie Foxx?
Tom Cruise.
And
Nice.
Jamie Foxx.
Collateral.
Very good collateral.
Nicely done.
Very good.
The clues.
You were good.
The clues helped me out. I wouldn't have got it without
No,
those.
I mean...
Yeah.
I have a few more.
A few more. Okay.
What if you had a second chance with the one that got away?
Oh, Dumbo. Wait.
This is a sequel.
When Harry Met Sally 2, Sally's Revenge.
The
don't
Salining.
This is a sequel from a 90s romance that came out in 1995.
And then there's a 2004 sequel to it.
Yes.
This is not my genre.
The one that got away.
Reunites both of the cast.
What the movie originally came out in when? 95?
95. The movie's pretty much done in real time, too.
Before Sunset? Or
Yep.
yeah.
Before
Sunrise?
Before Sunrise?
Yeah, Before Sunset. Okay, got it.
Something wicked comes this way.
Something Wicked Comes This Way. I think I got that movie in the closet.
Oh, excuse me. Something wicked this way comes.
I mean, okay.
This is on the poster, too. Pete, you love this
Isn't that
movie.
an Asimov book?
This is a family
I know.
fantasy
Something Wicked This Way
series.
Comes is Prisoner of Azkaban.
Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yeah.
Yep.
But Prisoner of who?
All right, I got one.
I'm
more.
going to call the police if he doesn't leave. It's
All right.
way too late.
Still
I got
out
one
there.
more.
All right, last one.
Adventure lives forever.
Oh, Jesus.
I have a few of these actually because these
taglines
these
for
are
this
kind of hard
for this
Yeah.
movie. Yeah, I don't know what you got. Mummy Returns.
You're close with the Mummy Returns. You are on think about the Mummy Returns when you
Okay.
think of that. The one name they all fear.
Van Helsing.
Van Helsing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Pete, you're good.
Summer of
I
2004. There was something in there for everyone.
Yeah, I love it. Wow. Okay, that was fun. Thank you for putting that.
I love that Spider-Man
little
2.
game. Yeah,
That was a fun
That
one.
was a great movie.
That
Yeah,
was.
love it. Love it. Still love it. Holds up. I would like to talk about the score of this movie.
So I think that the cut that we watched, the score is controversial because I think that it recycles old music.
Oh.
And I was reading that on Wikipedia.
That makes
of
sense
that
for a
some of
director's cut.
The criticisms of the director's cut was the score because I think that
Maybe they just pulled temp stuff
I think
and left
they
it
just
in there?
pulled from James Horner's back catalog.
Yeah, because I was watching it, going, "Well, that's from Wrath of Khan."
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of James Horner, like R.I.P. King.
I will
love James Horner.
I will say, show me a James Horner movie, and I'll show you a movie that the score sounds like the Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
like it's in a lot of his movies. It's in a lot of his scores. There's just little motifs in there. A lot. It's horns. There's a lot of horns. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Like that. That's all like
And then he brings that back up in Avatar too.
It is in
I
Avatar.
think of the horns
It is
in Avatar.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. There's also a part in the a big scene in the movie where Achilles and Hector's big fight, and it's a lot of percussion in that, and it's a lot of like drums and kind of like I don't know. They kind of almost maybe sound like a bongo, or kind of like more like not exactly like a regular drum kit, right? And so it's like these drums, and it's trying to make it like, I mean, it's a fight, and it's the biggest fight in the movie, and I think they're trying to make it feel like primal or whatever, by using percussions. That happens a lot in movie scores. But I was really getting, and Scott, I don't know if you're with me on this or if I'm on Lonely Island, but I was really getting a lot of the score from Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes. Just in that scene alone.
Danny
if you
Elfman,
watch it
sure.
again, listen to the score.
I mean, Danny Elfman has
Achilles-
kind of been inspired. I mean, James Horner has been inspired by Danny Elfman with a few of his scores.
Okay.
We were just watching Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and that pretty much just sounds like
How is that? I haven't seen that.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Fun.
It's fun. It
It's
holds
fun.
up.
Honey, I
It's
Shrunk.
still a lot of fun.
I think it
Yeah.
holds up a lot. Yeah,
I miss me some Rick Moranis.
it's a kids movie clearly,
Right.
but as a kids movie,
But it was like
it's great.
It's
still a blast.
There's somebody. The ant dies, and that's
The
tragic.
ant dies. It's
Andy?
killed by the scorpion.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's still like a sad
Yes,
moment.
you're
Andy
right.
went out a hero.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Auntie went out a hero. Auntie was holding down the fort.
Is
know
it
what,
Auntie
though?
or Andy?
Again,
I think it was saying Auntie because it's an ant.
Auntie.
that
Yeah.
makes more sense.
Yeah. But no, you're right, and that is a James Horner score, and it does really feel like the Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah.
A little bit of Beetlejuice.
That makes sense.
in
I
there.
feel it. Like, just even
Yeah.
remembering it has that. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I was getting. But I don't know though. There's certain movies that I've seen several times, like Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes. Don't ask me why, but
You're an ape head, right? Yeah.
I'm a huge ape head from way back.
There are cool aspects of that movie.
There are some really fun.
It's kind of a mess, but there's some.
You know
There's
what?
some cool
I'm
stuff
not
hidden in
going to
there.
say that I didn't watch the last Planet of the Apes movie and enjoy it. Wait. I enjoyed the last. I don't know
The,
what I'm
like,
trying
most
to say.
recent one?
But yeah, I saw the last
I
one.
loved-
And
I
it
love
was like,
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I thought it was
gonna
good.
hate it.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I thought it was
no,
great.
I can't like this. There's no. It's all CG.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I think they do a really good job with the
they
last
did,
one.
and I liked it.
Yeah.
What
Good
did we
movie.
think of the costumes in this movie? It was Oscar-nominated costumes. This movie got one Oscar nomination, costume design.
Wow.
A lot of nice tunics.
There's a lot
The
of
robes. The robes
Yeah.
are really.
The robes.
Yeah.
They got a lot of like really nice blue dye. I don't know where they were getting this blue dye. in
There's a
ancient,
scene I can't
Greece.
remember where Achilles is like pacing in a robe and it looks like he
Yes.
should be selling coke.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
No, it's Paris.
Oh, is it Paris?
No, when we said he should be waving the gun around,
Oh yeah.
that
Yeah.
was Achilles.
Okay, Achilles.
He looked
put the
like he
gun
was-
down.
No, I'm thinking
he was-
of I'm thinking
you
of the
think somebody
scene
else?
with Orlando Bloom.
Okay, he's also
That
wearing
he
like a
looks
boxer's
like
robe,
he
like he's
Yeah.
about to go fight like Tyson.
The boys are wearing a lot of silks, a lot
They
of
are.
pajamas,
flowing gowns.
Yeah, so it's a
this was Bob Ringwood who did the costumes for David Lynch's Dune and Batman Returns.
Oh, cool.
interesting.
yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of like cool armor stuff with like all the like leather and like all that crazy shit. Achilles' is like little skirts, his like wraparound skirts that he was very free to just take off
Yeah,
and like flounce around nude.
I always want to see
In
a
his
butt
little hut.
hanging out in any of those little skirts.
Yeah,
I just want to see a little cheek.
I think they had
Just
a
a
little
little
panty.
peekaboo.
I think they had a little panty on underneath, like a little leather panty, like in 300.
what'd you guys think of the design of the Trojan horse? It's a little modern in a way. Like it didn't
yeah.
look like a horse. I thought it would look more like a rocking horse, or I don't know.
Well, they have to have it a little stylized.
No, of course.
Yeah, and then I think was the implication that they use wood from their ships.
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of cool
Right.
idea, but then
found art. Like,
yeah, very outsider art.
Yeah.
Very outside. American like hobo chic. But I think that for something that they were like just came up with on the spot and then they made using their own materials right then and there, it was very anatomically correct yet also super stylized.
yeah, the scale was great.
Like,
You think it'd be a little off? Like they'd
you
be
know
like,
what I mean?
"Ugh."
Yeah, they were just making this.
I mean, that's good for a night of work. I
yeah,
guess.
like from the seat of their pants, skin of their teeth, and it looked
and big enough for them to hide
to
in.
get inside of. And I did think that. Okay, I think they tried to make it a little bit more realistic. What would it look like if these people made it? But it did look a little too good.
How long before you give yourself away when you're hiding
I
there?
would be snickering the
Right.
entire time. They're buying it.
I would have eaten something terrible the morning of and like farted. And been like,
the
sorry.
smells. The smells coming out of the inside of the Trojan horse.
How did
Just-
nobody
No, ma'am.
see that fleet
No, ma'am.
of ships just over the hill?
You know, there was no social media. They couldn't text each other. The one dude went to go look.
It was.
they
It wasn't on
shot
anybody's
him.
ring camera.
No.
Hello, who's there? Not the Greeks.
Entire Greek armada. We're totally on our way home.
We're just dropping off some. package.
I feel like in the Iliad that it's kind of like under cover of night. They like kind of
Oh yeah, this is done under
shipped
cover.
off,
Yeah.
and then they kind of came back after, like, you know, they made it look like they were leaving, and then kind of they used the night to kind of like come back, and
They
so
get
it wasn't
duped.
as prominent.
They get duped,
Yeah.
but you believe it in the story. Not
Right.
that you would ever bring in like, hey, we just won a war. Should we bring their trash into our behind our
Yeah.
walls? Like,
Out
I don't
into the
know.
ocean. Come on.
Yeah, God, I don't.
And they wanted to worship it, or
Well, the one guy did, but
or
that
they
guy
kind of
was-
thought it was a gift from the gods, right?
Or they give to the gods.
They
It was like an
believe
offering.
It was an offering for them because they have to do that. By the way, every time they go on a ship, they have to sacrifice something.
Oh, geez.
Could you imagine if that still worked now? It's like you're like, hey, I got to run to the store. You have an extra sheep I need to kill to just for good luck on the way.
Yeah.
But every time they have to murder animals.
That's crazy.
And I guess this isn't a murder, but it's an offering
Right,
to
it's a
Poseidon for
right.
them to have a safe, or at least that's how it was read by the Trojans.
So do you just take an extra bit of livestock for the way home?
Exactly.
Right? Kind of
You've
thing,
got to you got to realize
Unless
like
you
I
have-
need enough for the way there.
unless you
and
have
back.
Yeah.
unless you have somebody's daughter handy to sacrifice for those
Throw her over the side.
for those nice
Agamemnon.
ocean breezes.
Well, that's the one thing, and I don't want to get too much into it, but I will.
Yes,
You know, the
please
golden
do.
apple thing I told you about before. Obviously, in the Bible, there's a thing about the, there's an apple.
Right.
And there was, the other thing.
There has to be some, with texts that are this old,
Right. They're recycling.
has to be some crossover, which makes you think like there are texts that are as old, probably older than the Bible, yet that's the one that everybody latched onto. And
Let's
they're
be
just like-
honest. If the Bible came out at the same time and it came out as Star Wars, we'd all be
I was just telling
Yeah,
Jedi.
we were
was
just talking about that.
It's a better story.
I was just telling SB and Polo that the other day, and I was just thinking about that here. That now we're watching this movie, right? And this movie is an adaptation of these old texts.
Would
right?
aliens think that Coachella is like worshiping gods or something?
No, yeah, but I mean, we don't know how long these like digital formats, whatever, are going to be kept around. Is like some society in like 1,000 years going to just get a hold of like Revenge of the Sith and be like, yes, the sacred text.
If they saw how much we
The tales
revered it,
of our ancestors.
like
Yeah.
there is a reverence that we have for art, and
Yeah.
obviously, I'm talking to people who have podcasts about movies.
yeah.
So we have a reverence that it's like, verges on not religious, but it's like these are stories that. In the same way that people took the stories, let's say, of the gods with them, right? And they use those. Like, we would take maybe a story we read or maybe a comic we read, or you know what I mean? It's the same kind of, the way I think they're being used are similar.
I mean, everybody always makes that lazy comparison of superheroes being like our new Greek gods.
Right, yeah. But look at, what's her name? Who's that wonderful woman? Wonder Woman? Yeah. She's Greek, right?
wonderful.
She's a...
She's an Amazon.
Oh, was she from the island of Lesbos?
Lesbodesia. She's from Themyscira. You love the island of
Have you-
Lesbodesia.
Do you remember that?
No, I don't
It
know what
was
that
on
is.
Conan, and Andy Richter
no.
telling some story. And Pete and I always think of the island of Lesbodesia all the time. I forget what they're talking about. I think that Andy's just riffing on some story.
Yeah.
That's great. No, but I mean, it's it makes sense that those connections are made because a lot of they're the archetypes. A lot of them are for or some of them are, I should say.
No, but I mean, you watch some of these.
You take Hercules stories, demigod stories,
yeah.
and it's like, that's a superhero. Anyway.
Yeah, but you watch some of these MCU movies, and the trend of in the early 2000s, the big opening credit sequence. The big CGI opening credit sequence in like Spider-Man movies and X-Men movies. It was at the beginning, right? And now they do them at the end. There's kind of no opening credit sequence, and they do these big CGI
because you have to wait until
for the post-credit scenes and all that.
There's the post-credit scene and then the post-credit scene,
the mid-credit scene. So but some of those big CGI closing credit extravaganzas are like, all right, you guys, let's fucking tone it down a notch. Where they're like statues of all the characters that look like these like Greek
we get it.
All right, come on, come on, let's calm down, filmmakers here.
What they're trying to do is they're trying to elevate it to that kind of status, even though it kind of plays a similar role in the culture. It doesn't have the same. I don't know. I don't know how they were how it was looked at its time.
Right. I mean, how could we? But that's kind of the comparison that we get a lot today. So
it's like Stella. You killed my boyfriend. Prepare to die.
Oh my gosh. All right. Let's see. What else do I have in my notes?
So I have definitely the classic blonde brunette dilemma between Hector and Achilles. You know what I mean?
Who are you going to choose?
I'm going Banna all the way.
I think Hector's more like he's the family man. He's the one you're going to settle down with. Achilles is just like, no.
A dingo didn't steal my baby, but he stole my heart.
He disagrees with his shithead brother, but at the end of the day...
Well, that's the problem.
Sometimes.
That's the problem. Mm-hmm. Back when I was a dutiful son, I used to... Yeah, I loved Hector as like as somebody who read these. Like, I loved Hector. He was such a good Boy Scout. Yeah. He did the right thing. He knew he was going to get killed, but he still stood up to death. But now I'm like... What are you doing? Listening to these terrible people. Your dad sucks. Mm-hmm. Your brother sucks. Scram with your wife and kid. Because in the book, his kid gets it. I mean, not in the book. I mean, in the stories. He's thrown from the walls of Troy. And it's like, that's his reward for being a good, dutiful son. And, and I, even as a kid reading that, I'm like, that's whack.
No, totally. Yeah, absolutely. Let's kind of go back to Patroclus a little bit, Scott, since you're on your Song of Achilles kick, and this idea of him stealing Achilles' armor without Achilles knowing, and going out. I mean, how is Hector going to know? He's got the big mask on,
which I'm assuming that he's trying to protect Achilles. Then, right?
I think there's a little more to the story that we just there's no time for.
It didn't quite end up in this adaptation. Yeah.
I think he just wants to fight.
And
Achilles has kind of been
I think I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there in the book too.
Okay. Yeah, you're not there yet. But I think the thing in this is that he just kept saying like, "Let me fight. I know how to fight." And Achilles is like, "No, you're still too young. You still
because where I'm at in the book, they're about to go to the Trojan War. Like, they've essentially been recruited by Odysseus, who's kind of this army recruiter standing outside of a high school trying to get kids to sign up for the Navy. That's kind of Odysseus.
Uh-huh. Interesting.
In the original story, Odysseus doesn't want to go to war. Like, he pretends to be crazy. And I forget what they do. They do something like, he starts plowing the fields, I think, with like salt. And they're like, "This guy's nuts." And I think what they do is they put his son like in the way of the field, so he obviously stops and like. I could be wrong. I could be making that up, but I do know that he pretends to be crazy, and then so he's. The thing about Odysseus is he seems to be one of the voices of reason, like. Why are we here, guys? Like, what are we doing? Like,
Odysseus' character is very thin in this movie. Like, there's not a lot there.
Yeah. So thin.
Yeah. Sean Bean looks like he walked off the set of, like, a John Borman movie from the 70s.
That's very funny.
Yeah, so 70s looking.
Yeah. Excalibur.
His styling.
Sean Bean movie where he does not die, too.
That's almost like
that?
a. I feel like that should be something
That's
like a trivia.
Noteworthy. Yeah, it should be. It should be number 1 on the IMDb trivia. I mean, you like Odysseus in this movie, like the characters. Like, okay, he seems cool. He doesn't seem as crazy as the rest of our leads because everybody else is so flawed.
It's hard to like these guys.
But it really
man.
is.
It is.
It really is.
What's his name? Agamemnon Roystar Waco or Waystar Royco.
Yeah, we don't watch Succession.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
I didn't know it was that kind of house.
No. But I'm just saying, like we're not going to be able to keep up with the Succession jokes.
I actually didn't see the last season,
Okay.
so I'm terrible with those.
Okay.
But no, it's funny that he plays these tyrants.
Oh no,
because
absolutely. He's good at it.
Yeah, he is.
He's great at it.
Yeah.
Is his deal. And the whole time, I'm giving the casting a hard time of just like these British actors playing like these Greek, ancient Greek characters. But in the end, I was like, oh no, Brian Cox is pretty fucking scary. And I'm kind of buying him as Agamemnon.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at the
this.
cast of The Odyssey, which I think
Odyssey So White hashtag
has either wrapped up filming or they're filming it right now. I mean,
Okay.
I'm sure that this movie will be filming for
Does it look like the cast of a Hogwarts movie?
a year. Oh, mama, listen to this cast.
There's a lot of Hogwarts rejects.
Tom Holland.
Okay.
Odysseus is being
Spider-Man.
played by Matt Damon. Tom Holland.
Weird.
I'm seeing Zendaya.
Matt Damon's Odysseus?
Matt Damon's Odysseus.
Oh, I
So
thought,
who's Ralph Fiennes?
I thought Ralph Fiennes was.
I do not see Ralph Fiennes in this cast.
Oh,
list.
he's in it though. That's what
definitely
Yeah,
in
that's
it.
the whole thing.
That man is getting so
Here,
buff.
let me go to the IMDb page. I'm
Oh,
seeing-
also, just as an aside, if you guys ever go to a Renaissance fair, I call them Ren fairs because I don't have a lot of time.
What? Wait, say the
It's-
what fair?
Ren fair?
the what fair? It's going on right now.
To say what?
I went and paid to throw a what do you call this? A spear?
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You give them like $10 and you can throw 5 spears.
Nice.
I threw the first one barely, and I'm like, oh, I can't do this. And I had 4 more spears, and I'm like, can I get like $4 back? Or you know what I mean? Like, can I get like $3? And he's like, no. So I
bro.
like kind of just tossed them. It was so sad.
Underhand.
It's really hard to do. By
I
the
don't
way.
know what those photos of Ralph Fiennes are being all shredded.
I don't see him in this either. You're right.
I'm seeing John Barenthal, and he is a mountain of a man.
Yeah, John Barenthal.
John Barenthal, Robert Pattinson. Seeing Zendaya's in this movie.
work.
Charlize Theron, Anne Hathaway,
No,
Mia Goth.
the only people that are credited with characters are Matt Damon as Odysseus, Tom Holland as Telemachus, and
That's Odysseus' son.
and that's about it. Yeah, everybody else is just
Samantha
doesn't
Morton,
have
Lupita Nyong'o.
credits.
Yeah. Benny Safdie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, I take it that a lot of these roles from the Odyssey are probably little bit roles.
So, do we think
Two.
Charlize is Penelope, or
Maybe.
Samantha Morton?
I bet that it's probably
Charlize. I mean, who else do we got?
Charlize.
Cersei, some sirens.
I could see Mia
How
Goth.
many ladies do we have?
I could see Mia Goth playing a siren.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, she could be Circe, Mia Goth.
Yeah. It's we'll see. I mean, what is it says 2026. So I mean,
Yeah, it's next summer. Not
Yeah.
this summer, but next summer.
yeah.
I know he's going to make time a part of it too, or something. It's like
What?
I don't know. It's Christopher Nolan.
Yeah,
he's going to do it backwards
Which
or something.
I was reading that Christopher Nolan apparently was offered to direct this movie, and he passed.
Wait. Say that again.
Chris Nolan was offered to direct Troy, and he passed.
Oh, Troy.
Yeah.
Got it. I was like, he is directing the Odyssey. Okay, yeah. That makes sense. What was he doing around that time? 04.
04, this would have been Dark Knight times, or it would have been Batman times. So he was
Batman
he probably just decided
Yeah.
to go all in on Batman
Yeah.
instead.
Yeah, Dark Knight's 08.
all Batman all the time.
Yeah. Batman Begins is 05. Yeah. Yeah, interesting.
What do you guys think about the actual fighting? It wasn't even that interesting.
It's fine.
You know, this is so a big part of like the epic poem is like it's supposed to talk about this crazy war, and one of the first similes that ever I think comes out in literature is they're saying that there's so many people on the beach that it's buzzing. like a beehive, right?
Okay.
Just to give that many people. So it's supposed to be this epic scaled thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Launched 1,000 ships. And I think in this day and age, after seeing Peter Jackson films, after seeing these epic battles, that just the scale they were able to recreate didn't do anything in and of itself.
You know,
Right.
it's a movie that does something like that really well. Did you see Ridley Scott's The Last Duel?
I don't know.
The titular Last Duel.
Yeah.
And when you see it, you're like, Jesus fucking Christ, maybe this should be The Last Duel.
So, to your point, Chris,
That's so funny.
there's big shots of all the ships in the ocean.
Right.
And you're just like,
I guess it's
were
impressive.
there that many people
Yeah,
on
I was thinking
Earth
about that.
at this time?
Are there
frame?
any men left in
Did they have
ancient Greece?
enough materials to make this many? For modern audiences, you have to make it huge, and it's like 1,000 ships. There's a lot of ships, right?
lot.
Just show them all there, and it just, to me, it looks almost like that looks unwieldy. I wouldn't want to be on one of those ships. Just going to crash into one of the others. And then I did also read another bit of IMDb trivia.
I don't like all this reading you've been doing.
I know,
Let's go
sorry.
back to these audiobooks.
But that, I guess, an early trailer had there were more ships in the
It
ocean.
looked too silly.
And people were like, this looks bad.
This looks crazy.
fake."
That's so funny.
So they went
Funny.
in and they pulled some out. And it still was like, ooh, yikes. But, you get movies that do it well, like, Gladiator and Lord of the Rings. And then you get something like The Mummy Returns, where it just looks like a CGI mess, right? And yeah, I don't know. I think we're just at this point where it's like these big epic war scenes. We're just
It doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
There's nothing inherently.
But what I'm getting about The Last Duel is I think that there's something about that last fight scene that is a little more intimate that you're like,
well,
shit.
you have to go. What is Spielberg Beach War? You know what I'm talking about?
Empire of the Sun.
No,
Duel?
the World War II movie.
Saving Private Ryan?
Saving Private Ryan.
You have to go Saving Private Ryan and go into the battle.
Handheld.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, they did that a lot in this movie. I don't know if
I mean,
most
they kind of had a landing scene. You know what I mean? Like a beach landing.
I don't know if a lot of it was because of the director's cut, but there was a lot of like gore and all that in there. But I kind of felt that was a little maybe overkill.
That felt very much like what was the Mel Gibson film that to me?
The Patriot?
No, the one before.
Braveheart.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway, Braveheart.
No,
to
I
me,
know
that was
that
the film where I think the first time I remember seeing just a giant squib or some giant blood bag go off and go whoa. And it's just, again, it's just one of those things that you get used to. So you see, there are moments where it's almost like a Japanese Tokyo Gore
Yes.
Police where
Yeah.
there's a sprinkler of blood and you're just like, where's this blood coming from? And there's none on the sand they're fighting on. But anyway.
I also think that the director's cut that we watched is a little more violent, too.
Yeah. But I think that's what something like Saving Private Ryan, I think, maybe gets right, is that it just brings you in and makes it a little bit more personal and scary and dangerous feeling,
Right.
as opposed to these big sweeping shots.
If you had more, if you weren't following the heroes, if you were basically, but that's not what this story is about,
Right.
and that's
Yeah.
not. It was always about heroes and trying to tell stories of great men and great deeds and stuff. But their version of great is just killing a lot of people.
Okay, so as someone who is familiar with the source material, and I mean, you have fully just have acknowledged the fact that there is a lot of homosexual undertones in not only the story but the society itself.
And it's just in Greek culture that was a
Right.
big part of. I think from Crete and and the Spartans were
The Cretans?
The Cretans,
Yeah.
but the Spartans too were
Yeah.
big proponents of that.
Right. So how do you feel how do you feel about movies or this movie in particular, kind of their take on that? There isn't a take on that.
There isn't a take. I think it's kind of lame.
I don't know how you would have done it in a Hollywood blockbuster in 2004.
It would have been a lot more interesting.
I think that you
think it
could
might
do
have been.
something like that now, and there, of course, would be blowback with it because everything is controversial now.
Yeah.
With anything remotely like that. But I think that Hollywood could do something like that now. They definitely could not in 2004.
Right.
I guess
Especially with Brad Pitt.
we got sexy men, so you should be like, you should be happy with that.
I guess you got like a lot of butts, a lot of top butt,
Yeah.
a lot of
Top
side
butts,
butt.
a lot of side
You
butt.
got a lot of almost
yeah.
pubes.
Yeah, very
like
close.
very like
Yeah,
but
real
not,
right there.
No, kind of very teasing.
Yeah. So I think that it's kind of weird. I mean, again, Scott, to your point, Scott, you're absolutely right. How is Brad Pitt going to sign off in this movie? He's not going to like be making out with like Garrett Hedlund at any point.
But like, isn't that more interesting to go in a battle with like your lover?
I think
and,
so.
Like,
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting thing, and it's always something
Yes.
that's been a part of. I don't think it's necessarily as like. Not all Greeks practiced it.
Right, yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
It wasn't something that was like just everywhere.
Right.
But at the same time, it was a part of the culture and it was
Yeah.
a part of just the society. And I think a lot of what, and although it's weird, I don't think the Iliad gets into it, but the Iliad gets into so many things like culture and stuff, but it
Yeah.
doesn't get into that. But
Yeah. I mean, if gay TikTok has taught me anything, is that, they did it in ancient Rome even, but that's just gay TikTok. So, the one about like the bravest warrior.
do you want to know a Latin
I'll show it
term?
to you later.
Yeah,
You know a
you can
Latin
show it
term?
to me later.
Yes.
Catamite. That's the
Okay.
receiver.
It's the bottom.
Bottom.
The bottom.
It's the bossy bottom.
Catamite.
A catamite.
Not a bossy bottom.
Yeah.
You're not the sodomite. You are the catcher. You're the catamite.
Oh, I see. Okay, so okay, got it. The sodomite is committing sodomy. The catamite is having it committed unto themselves. I see. Okay, all
That's
right.
just, I think.
I just think this
Roman.
movie should have had a little bit more thigh fucking.
Yeah, definitely. More dry humping.
A little bit more dry humping, a little less.
I thought if they were like murderous guys who are in love and just like fighting other people, like make it interesting. Like that's interesting. This is kind of, but they're not, like you said, they're kind of going for like a very plain telling of it, like if it were a real event that happened, or because there was a Troy and they did find it.
And
Right,
you
I was
mentioned
gonna
that, and
ask
you mentioned
that,
that
too.
Troy is roughly around where Turkey is.
Because it wasn't
Yeah,
for
that's
the
what they
longest
said.
time they didn't know where it
Yeah,
was,
I
and they're
forget
like
the guy's
maybe it was
name. It's
mythical.
like Schliemann or something, some like discoverer, explorer who found it.
Sure.
Yeah, I believe it's in like near Turkey or in Turkey where they found Troy. So it is a real place. This was a real thing, but obviously the story they're telling is infused with gods.
Heinrich Schliemann. How about that?
Heinrich Schliemann.
Girl, you knew what
In
was
modern
up.
day Turkey.
It's just
confirms
that's
the
one of those
existence
things
of
where
a
like that just lives in my
fortified city
head.
Yeah, wow.
that was destroyed and rebuilt multiple times over the course of 1,000
Archaeological
years.
site of
Because a lot of
Troy.
times, like with Babylon, right? Like a lot of
Sure,
different
yeah.
or a lot of different civilizations
Yeah.
lived in Babylon because it was like a big city.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, this is here. It's like people keep moving in and out, or like having
At
control.
at one time, there were some hanging gardens.
Oh,
and that's what
yeah.
I think probably everyone latches onto.
Oh yeah, that was one of the great old
Wonders
wonders
of the world. Yep.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen that. I say this as someone who hasn't like been out of the state in like a year. I'm like, I would love to go to the hanging gardens of Babylon.
Well, I mean,
meanwhile,
I was
gone as
I was
further than
googling
Nevada
I
in,
was
like, 5
googling
years.
the mountain that the centaur lives on in Greece. Chiron.
Yeah,
I was
Chiron.
googling about visiting there.
Listen, Chris,
Yep.
you get yourself to Vegas, you can go to Venice, you can go to Paris.
You know what my favorite part about going to Paris is that like you walk through the stores, and I was walking through and there were 2 French guys working at like the cell counter arguing, and I'm like, man, this does feel like I'm in Paris.
Yeah.
Paris, France.
I mean, you'll be
French art like
You'll
cell
be-
phone
you'll be-
guys arguing. It's so
you'll be
good.
greeted by gladiators when you walk into Caesars.
Yeah, you can see the whole world.
Oh, it's every Italian boy's dream to go to Caesar's. Wow, Ma.
Oh,
Is that a
man.
real? What is that voice? what's I don't even know an Italian voice. I was so confused by watching that film. I think Italian is British or something.
I mean, that's my point. Well, what are you going to do? It's a movie. We, on the other hand, we are World Showcase kind of girlies. We're like, where can we go to visit the?
There's no Greece. I mean,
There's no
there's
Greece
an Italy
in the World Showcase. There's
in the
Venice.
World Showcase.
There's
There's Venice, but
yeah.
not any Greece.
Yeah, that's true. We got to go to Vegas if we want our real Greek experience.
Hey, maybe you guys are finding like something in the market that's missing. Maybe
but
you need
also,
a Greek casino.
But I mean, also
that's friendly.
Caesar's is Italian too.
Caesar's Palace, it's Roman.
Caesar's Palace is Roman. Yeah,
You're right.
but it all. I mean, that's all like anything from Rome and Italy. They were just taking it from Greece.
You know,
Okay, those are fighting words. Not true. Obviously, they took a lot, but not everything. Come on.
They took it all.
Come on.
Hey, but listen, who won the war? What are the planets named after? The Roman gods.
Here we go.
Right?
Just like
No,
on
you're right.
Gods, right? Yeah.
Just like on Battlestar Galactica.
I'm like Jupiter? Yeah.
Yes.
Battlestar Galactica, that's all the Roman. Yeah, that's all Roman stuff in Battlestar too. Yeah, but that's because it's based on the Zodiac and all that. So.
And is it because of Caprica when they came to Earth that everything is Roman?
You're talking about the end of the Battlestar Galactica? Like yes.
Spoiler alert, but
I know. Well, first of all, I want to tell the audience that I spoiled some parts of the Iliad to Scott, and I felt really bad about it. So I apologize.
There's no spoiling ancient texts.
no, it's fine.
I apologize, Scott.
Oh boy. All right. Do we have anything else that we haven't gotten to?
I wrote a couple weird things that I
yeah.
just want to say. What was
Hit
the
it.
2 days from retirement thing?
Oh, when Patroclus died, and they were just, you know,
He was almost for retirement.
He was-
almost
no,
going home.
he's like, we're gonna go home tomorrow.
yeah. He said he was going to leave. He was going to leave tomorrow.
He was going to
yeah.
leave tomorrow. And the other thing I have is Socrates is like the Joe Rogan of his time. So I thought Socrates was going to come up because he was somebody. I forget if it was in the Phaedrus or I think Symposium. That Plato definitely, one of the setups was a man, I believe, talking about his male lover. So
I was going to say the Symposium is the one that has the real gay shit.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So
So,
that's what all of Hedwig is like based off of. Okay, I'll take Joe Rogan as long as he's not like the Andrew Tate of his time, right? That's J.K. Rowling. She's Andrew Tate for ladies. That's what they're saying on the internets right now. But
and obviously Zeus is Bill Cosby. I'm sorry. There's
Oh
a
my
lot.
God.
There's a lot that I wrote to back that up, but we're at the end of this, so I.
man,
You
Zeus
could
is
just
Bill Cosby.
You can just keep that to
Wow.
yourself.
Yeah, that's you fill in the rest of that story yourself, audience.
But who would have played Zeus in 2004? We had a lot of heavy hitters in this. If they did bring in Zeus, who you got? And you can't say Anthony Hopkins.
Can't say Anthony Hopkins.
I don't know why. That I just
Can I
say
say? Can I say Arnold?
Ooh, I love it.
Yeah, radiates power.
All right, Arnold Schwarzenegger as Zeus.
Wolfgang would love it too, and
Wolfgang would love
his
it.
accent would fit in too.
Arnold, my friend.
I'm Zeus.
Finally, I need my Zeus for this movie.
Your barbecue chicken pizza.
You could come and have some of my famous barbecue chicken pizza. That's Wolfgang Puck, not Wolfgang Peterson, but you know,
Aren't they cousins?
they're related.
Wolfgang Peterson, I mean, may he rest in peace. No longer with us, passed away a few years ago. But there was definitely a time where that guy kind of ruled Hollywood. Like he was doing The Perfect Storm, Troy, and then he didn't work again in Hollywood after his Poseidon Adventure remake.
Oh, that was him.
He flew a little too close to the sun.
Another Greek,
like
too.
Icarus. Wow. But no, I mean, freaking Neverending Story, classic. I will also say this, Enemy Mine, starring Dennis Quaid
I don't
and
think I've seen that.
Louis Gossett Jr.
It's great.
Really good.
Yeah.
Really good sci-fi movie.
It's also a great short story.
Oh, sure, right? Yeah. Is it, who wrote the short story? It's like somebody, right?
Well, I found it at some thrift store.
Okay.
Because I'd seen the
yeah,
movie,
bounced, yeah.
and I just saw...
Very
I'm like,
long.
Yeah, it was
year.
like in some old
Okay, got it.
science fiction
Yeah.
thing.
I thought it was like
Yeah, no.
it's not like an Asimov thing or anything. No. Okay, got it. But go find Enemy Mine if you can, children. I think it's probably streaming on something. But that's a good one. Scott, we'll watch it.
Yeah, I want to watch it.
Final thoughts. We'll wrap it up.
Yeah, I was curious of how this
Those
movie
were your final thoughts.
would revisit. This was kind of, I think, my choice to cover very last minute. This was not on the schedule at all. We made up our mind to watch Troy yesterday.
You called an audible.
Yeah, we sure did.
I-
and thank you, Chris, for coming out
Thank
for
you.
it.
Oh,
'cause
of course.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
coming
having me,
over
guys.
and
It's so
watching
good to see you.
Yeah,
all
I know.
3 hours and 10 minutes of this movie.
I know.
It felt like it got longer as we watched it.
You get
I'm
to
like, "God,
sleep
where's
until
this
noon tomorrow."
wooden horse?
But thank you for coming out for this and sticking around and
Thanks for having me.
Always love to
late
have you
one
on.
for it because this was a ton of fun. We'll do a little bit more research into the next one that you do. We won't pull a fast one on you.
No, this was hilarious.
I still want to do seconds.
Yeah, same.
Seconds is
Yeah.
it's a slow film, but it's one of those I think that stays with you.
I'm
I
gonna watch
really
it, though.
liked it. Yeah.
I hear it's supposed
love
to be
it.
good.
Well, we have it. We rented it.
yeah, we
we
rented it.
So good.
We have until
Frankenheimer. I mean, Manchurian Candidate. So good.
Love it.
The Island of Dr. Moreau.
You're right.
Yeah, that
You are
that
right.
was one of his last
and
movies.
did he do Ronin? I think with
the De Niro.
De
Ronin?
No,
Niro.
it's
Is that not Frankenheimer?
Is it Gabriel Byrne? No, I think it is De Niro.
And what's his name? That French Leon.
Oh,
Jean-
sure.
Jean
Reno.
Reno.
Janet Reno.
Yeah.
And Natasha McElhenney. I knew it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I know that movie. And that is, in fact, directed by John Frankenheimer. Yes.
Hey,
You
I got
it.
one.
Woo! All right, Chris. Well, we'll let you go. We've held you hostage long enough. Listeners, thank you for staying to the very end. But stick around. We'll be right back. All right, listeners, we are back. Thank you once again for sticking around to the very end.
Didn't think we would be getting the Troy
I know.
on the podcast.
Yeah.
Fun surprise.
Yeah, definitely a fun surprise, but it was a fun episode. I love having Chris on. One of my besties from way back, so that's always a pleasure. Thank you again to the lovely Chris Cirigliano for coming on our show and talking about a fun movie. Is this streaming anywhere?
No.
Okay. Well, you guys, you can rent it.
I would have streamed the
Couple bucks.
theatrical edition
I know.
had it been available for free,
Yeah.
but we watched the disc that I rented.
Yeah. It's cool. We got a little bit of extra oomph in there to talk about. So, but I think it is. It's just about that time.
Is that time? You were reading the ancient texts of Patreon.
Absolutely, just about to read the ancient Patreon.
I think the
classical,
the little sirens were like some Greek god like blowing a horn
Oh yes,
and announcing.
On the
Was it like
island of sirens?
I mean, Apollo did Apollo read from any
Oh gosh, no,
scrolls?
no,
I don't know.
even know. Yeah, shows how much the two of us are super into the classics. Well, we would like to take this time to say a great big hello and thank you to all of our wonderful patrons.
Let's hear it.
Including Leah, Megan, Rachel, Kelsey, Andrew, Stephen, Vanessa, Leah, SB, Brian, Sarah, Richard, Mark, Amy, Erica, Anna, Mitchell, our friends at How Do You Drew, Andy, Kate, Pep, Roberto, Daisy, Kelly, Chrissy, Stephen, Laura, Thomas, Lori, Brenna, Jess, Lawrence, Lisa, Alexis, Thomas, Millie, Ted, Benny, Melanie, Susan, Paul, Jamie, Drew, Genevieve, Dawn, Joshua, Aaron, Nick and Shannon, Christine, and Rufino. You guys.
Thank you so much.
And also our newest patron.
Yep, gotta give it a good shout out to Hector.
Yeah. Head over to patreon.com/movies that made us gay to see all of our fun bonus content. At the $5 level, you will get TV that keeps us gay.
We talk about a TV show every month at the $5 level. Last month we did 5 TV shows.
We sure did.
which was a fun episode, and you will be getting a new one very shortly. They come out towards the end of the month.
Yes. We're discussing a summer series. We did a whole Beverly Hills 90210 summer series last summer.
We might have one in the works.
Yeah. So we did an extra episode each week.
I think it was like about once every 2 weeks.
Yeah. It was every 2 weeks for TV That Keeps Us Gay. So we had our every 2 week Beverly Hills episode and then one special one per month. And that's all for $5. For $10, you get all of that plus an extra Watch With Us commentary where we watch a movie and we record a commentary track as we're watching the movie. We give you instructions on how to sync it up. You can listen to our track as the movie is playing, and that's really, really fun. I love doing it that way. Or you can just listen to it as a regular bonus episode. It also works out that way as well. So that's at the $10 level. You get all of that great stuff. So check us out. It's a lot of fun going on over at the Patreon. We love interacting with you guys on that, answering comments and questions and all that good stuff. So check it out. We'd also love it if you would follow us on your podcast listening app.
Yeah, give us 5 stars.
Yeah, rate and review the show over on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, wherever you listen. Give us 5 stars. It's easy. It's free. It comes pre-installed on your phone. We have 200 star ratings. We're at 4.9 and we got 200. Yay, thank you so much for doing that. But we still need another written review.
Yeah, if you write us some kind words, we will read it on an episode.
Absolutely. But 200 ratings is great. We're still at 4.9 hanging in there. So thank you guys for doing that. If you want to follow our socials, we're on Instagram at Movies That Made Us Gay. We're most active on Instagram. We have lots of fun memes and jokes, like Kyle and PK.
Just memes and jokes.
It's just memes and jokes.
They're not just memes and jokes, Kyle.
Well, to me, it's just memes and jokes. Over on the Patreon, on the Instagram at Movies That Made Us Gay. We're also on Blue Sky and Threads. And check us out. Give us a follow. Anytime you like, share, repost, comment, any of that, all of that interaction really helps our show reach a wider audience. Oh, Facebook as well. So check us out. If you want to follow our personals, you can. We're at, I'm at Peter Lasagna on Instagram.
Scott Youngballer on Instagram, and follow my letterbox.
Yes, indeed. Follow Scott's letterbox. He talks about all the movies that we are seeing, new and in theaters, anything we're watching at home, and so all that stuff gets logged. So follow him over there. A lot of fun. So until next week, everybody, thank you so much for listening again.
Bye.
Bye.